Hello and welcome, fellow mages, to my beginner's tips guides to Spellbreak. Spellbreak is a battle royale game involving magic that just released for all platforms, fully cross-compatible. The game has been in early access since 2018 and has finally released as a finished game. I'm here to provide you with some tips and tricks on game mechanics, mainly focused towards beginner players, and today we'll be talking about the different types of equipment you can utilize. Don't forget to sub and turn on notifications for more Spellbreak tips and tricks videos every week. Also, don't forget to come by the stream at twitch.tv/JohnZZZE, where you can watch me play and ask me any questions you have. Cheers and see you in the HoloLens. In today's video, we will be talking about the different chests and equipment you will find in the HoloLens. Players can have access to a variety of different equipment in a Spellbreak match. It allows for increases to a player's offensive, defensive, and movement skills with amulets, belts, and boots. Runes give you access to a third powerful ability, which provides height, information, and mobility outside of your mana bar. Next week I'll go over mana and how it works in a more in-depth video. The player can access all of these pieces of equipment through chests and floor loot, which will just be sitting on the ground. You have 4 inventory slots where you can store consumables such as health and shield, or with the Spellbreaker talent, you can store runes and gauntlets in this bar. We'll be going over talents in a later video. You can ping or mark any piece of equipment to mark for your teammates to notify them of higher rarity loot so they can swing by and grab it. Let's take a look at all of these things a little more in depth. Chests are where you find your loot and will be located all over the map. They'll be concentrated in large points of interest such as castles and houses, but are also scattered around in different spots. There are 5 types of chests in Spellbreak, which will drop you different types of loot depending on the size of chest. The type of equipment you can get is tied to the type of chest and will only drop that equipment. I will provide an infographic here with all the information on which loot comes from which chests. Keep in mind, the only way to get some legendary equipment, such as belts and amulets, is through the powerful mana vaults. These are special chests which have a timer for how long they take to open, and they also create a loud sound when open, which causes players from close by to come to your location. Be wise about when you open a mana vault, but the rewards from the chests can be the difference between winning and losing a game. When you first drop into the game, you start with 100 health, 0 armor, and 50 mana, and a run speed of 0. You can find different wearable equipment from floor loot and chests, which increase these base numbers. All this equipment goes up with rarity from common to legendary. There are 5 rarities: common, which is gray, uncommon, which is green, rare, which is blue, epic, purple, and legendary, which is gold. Belts allow you to gain shield depending on the rarity of the belts. You cannot access shield until you have a belt equipped. Belts are extremely important early game and can be the deciding factor between winning and losing an early game fight. Even a late game fight can be dictated by which type of belt you have. Amulets are your source of mana increase. Mana, in short, is used to cast spells and levitate. Mana almost acts as your ammo. It can also act as the ability to levitate, which can take you high above an opponent. I'll be going over mana more in depth in my next video. Amulets increase your total mana depending on the rarity of amulet, which in turn increases your ability to levitate and shoot, which in Spellbreak is incredibly important. And lastly, in Spellbreak, there's no sprinting. When you run around, that's how fast you go. But you can grab boots, which increase your base speed depending on the rarity of boot. Your running speed is directly tied to which set of boots you have on and increases with rarity. Another item you will find laying around are runes, which grant the player a powerful third ability outside of your mana. Runes are also tied to the rarity system and can upgrade to grant the player very powerful abilities. Runes are used to allow the player additional vertical and horizontal movement, information of players around them, or even invisibility. Runes will have a timer dictating when they can be used, and another timer for some runes for how long they can be used for. Time your runes well to allow you to conserve mana and have an advantage over your opponents. My personal favorite runes are Spring Step and Flight, but I suggest learning how to use all the runes in the HoloLens, as they can mean the difference between exiling or being exiled. Lastly, consumables grant a player health and shield once used. Your consumables will automatically be added to your hotbar at the bottom right of your screen. They can only be taken while on the ground and can't be taken while jumping, levitating, casting spells, using runes, etc. You can crouch and run though while using consumables, so use this to your advantage. There are two types of consumables in Spellbreak, one for health and one for shield. Inside of this, there are two sizes for each type, which grant you different amounts of health and shield depending on the size of them. I will provide an infographic here to go over the different sizes of consumable that are inside of these two different types. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope some of this information helps you in your journey through the HoloLands. I will continue to put out these videos every week to help new players improve and learn the world of Spellbreak. Spellbreak is a very, very fun game, but is very deep at its core. It's easy to pick up, but very complicated to learn completely. A lot of players have been playing since pre-alpha, and it gives us new players a disadvantage right off the bat. If you liked today's video, like the video and hit the subscribe button for additional videos coming soon. I'm also live 4 days a week on Twitch, so come by and say hi and ask any questions you may have about the game. I'm always open to answering anything that people have. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, stay magical.